Oh,
Hey, hello.
let's
Boom.
go.
We're in. No countdown. Just straight into the show.
We're just going straight for it today, baby. How you doing, Mark?
I'm doing pretty good, Candido. It looks like we're off to the races without one of our members, but that's okay.
Yeah,
We
we're two
are
amigos.
two amigos out of the normal three. We are the Reload Show. Welcome to the show, everybody. We are just normally three dudes sitting around, three LOs sitting around talking about the state of the market, holding each other accountable for things that we say that we're going to do, and our marketing plan and our overall goals. Anyway, just like any other show, let's start off with our wins and losses. What do you got for us, Candido?
Well, we're not gonna talk Boston sports. If we are, we could just stick it with the Celtics. So
Are those in the losses? I haven't really been paying attention.
the Bruins kind of got a screw job on a couple of bad calls, but we're gonna stay positive. Wins and losses this week. So honestly, been really busy. And I don't want to look at that as a negative, but yeah, kind of need to take a step back, catch my breath a little bit. But positively, like I kind of mentioned on last week's show, had a great event that we put together. Just got back from grabbing coffee with one of those agents, and it went really well. So, those are the types of things that I get excited about, trying to help, with content and whatnot. But definitely some positive momentum there starting the week. So, Mark, how about yourself?
We got. I mean, well, I will pause and say that the Bruins losing is positive for me. It's just that's just a team that I love to hate. So I'm just going to throw that out there, and
Yeah.
I will end it with that.
The Blues aren't even in the playoffs, so
Yeah, no, I don't care. I'm full hate watching.
Yeah.
The hatred that I have for other teams, and the Bruins do that for me. Anyway, the a lot of uptick in application, uptick in positive conversations that I've had recently over the last week or so with agents, with some divorce attorneys that I've been I don't know, grateful to actually meet over the last couple weeks. I won't say why. And the overall, that's all positive to me. We are getting a lot of strength building this new referral group that I joined. I joined with only 3 or 4 members. We're almost double that size now, and we're honestly building a base to grow a strong network throughout Middle Tennessee. And I am I'm going to dump a lot of energy into it because I think I'm going to end up getting a lot out of it in the end, being a founding member of the chapter and just what I think we can build into one of the strongest groups in the area. So yeah, a lot of positivity flowing from me today. Losses, I don't really have many right now, outside of just businesses, is less than I'd like it to be, but I think that's true for everybody. So, So I guess we'll call that a loss. Sean, what do you got?
Man, it's been an interesting week. It's been a positive week in a lot of ways. I would say wins for the week. I've had the opportunity to set up several meetings with new to me real estate agents. A couple of them are brokers. I've actually got one today at 1:00 that I'll be meeting with. So the event that I talked about, the last week or the week before at a school, we had a few real estate agents come up and be like, hey, here's my information. So started following up with those real estate agents. One of them was a broker, and that's the meeting that I've got today at 1:00. So by simply doing the event and really putting on a good show and kind of just showing strength in the community, was able to get a meeting with a real estate broker. So that was fantastic. I'll share one other positive. I've got 2 loan officers on my team, and they have been absolutely going gangbusters with growing their business. One of them has now entrenched himself in 3 real estate agent teams that are all in the 8 to 12 agent capacity, or numbers on the team. So I've got some really good things going for the guys on my team, which has been fantastic. They're growing amazing, utilizing a lot of the tools and resources that we've got for them. As far as, negative, so shitty moment of the week, I would have to say it's kind of a bittersweet. So, I'm making a lot of outbound calls on a daily basis, and a lot of them are to people that I know in some capacity. It's very rarely that I'm making a ton of cold calls. But yesterday in particular, I made 30 outbound calls in the morning. I take a couple hours every morning, make some outbound calls. Yesterday, I made about 30 calls, got 30 no answers, got 30 voicemails. And so that was kind of, it never feels good when that happens. However, I know every time I don't get that answer, every time I don't get that voicemail, that means I'm one closer to the person who is going to pick up. So that was kind of a crappy moment for me yesterday, but I was able to wrap my mindset around, hey, I'm doing the activities and this is going to result in business as long as I stay consistent.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, getting a voicemail is not all that bad as long as they're listening to the voicemails, or if you're leaving one. Somebody once told me, and I can't remember who it was, to attribute it to them, and I'm sure they stole it too. But the goal of getting the voicemail is to make sure that they pick up the next time that you call, and things like that, or the follow. However you do it, whether you're leaving a voicemail or you're sending a follow-up text after getting that voicemail. The goal is to get them to pick up the next time, and if you're doing that, I think you're still doing a positive thing there. And yeah, like you said, I mean, the old school of counting the no answers as a no, getting through your no's to get to your yeses, and you're just powering through it. So props to you for sure.
I appreciate that.
I love it. So, yeah, guys, today, I think we've all been talking, both amongst ourselves and on the show, at some of the new connections that we've been making. And, I really wanted to dive into, Mark, you had in your win talking about your networking and referral group. All 3 of us are parts of groups like that. So, Mark, why don't you tell us a little bit how that started, as far as that group? Because you were saying that you're a founding father, or a founding member. And tell us how that's going so far.
Well, first of all, I have to take a moment to write that down so that after this show, I'm going to change my founding member status to founding father, because I think that would be good. But no, I mean, I think what really drew me to it was the fact that was absent, and a lot of what I do for my businesses, as most of my stuff is done online, and even though this networking group is also through a Zoom, we do a lot of in-person things, and we do a lot, and we're organizing a lot of in-person events, and I think that was something reaching out to the local community and to the local business community is something that I used to do a lot, and I was currently lacking. So I challenged myself to do it. The opportunity arose. Somebody invited me into that group, and then quit shortly after, and kind of just left me holding the, whatever you call it,
The bag.
Yeah, holding the bag. And but I fell in love with the idea of what they're building. It's called M&O. It actually started as a musicians referral group, and just kind of expanded from there. But it's nationwide. It's a lot like BNI, and I'm just super excited about it. And what I like best about it is the ability to influence, and the ability to connect with other local businesses on a level that I just wouldn't do going to lunch and making phone calls and things like that, and being able to connect with those people and find ways to incentivize them to send me business, by also making sure that I'm feeding their business as well. Local businesses is something that I've always been passionate about. Like you're going to rarely find me walking into a Walmart. Like you're going to rarely find me walking into a Starbucks. I'm the first guy that's going to try to go to a local business. So it's something that's a passion of mine. And over the last couple of weeks has kind of been rejuvenated. Part of my business that hasn't really existed over the last 3 or 4 years, probably.
I love it. I love it. So, and Sean, you're a part of a networking group like this. So, yours. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yours?
Yeah, those bastards made me late to this show today. So no, I was kidding.
That happens.
They're amazing. So I am part of a couple different groups. One, I'm part of a local association of realtors as well, which is, gives me an opportunity to really give back to the real estate agent community. As you guys know, and maybe some of you watching know, is a big part of my focus, my business model is to coach and educate and help build real estate agents up, help them do more business through helping them create strategies, processes, and systems to run their business. That's kind of my superpower. So being a part of a local association of realtors really puts me at the heart of being able to help a lot of real estate agents have even more success, especially in this market that's a little bit more challenging for some real estate agents. So I am part of that. And then I have a local real networking group that I go to on Thursdays. I'm sorry. Yeah, Tuesdays. That's today, right? Today's Tuesday. Tuesdays. Where it's a number of trades, right? It's an insurance provider. It's a financial advisor. It's a plumber, a roofer, an esthetician. I can't even say the word, but she's in the group. So we've got a whole slew of different industries in the group. It's one of those groups where only one person in each industry. Now I don't want to give all my secrets away, but I tend to be able to join a lot of those groups, even if they already have a lender, because I go in as the real estate coach. And there's typically not a real estate coach in the group. So while the lender in the group is asking for people who are buying and refinancing, I'm asking for introductions to real estate agents. So kind of super secret tech on helping me get my foot in the door in networking groups that already have a lender in them. But yeah, so this group, I'm the real estate coach, and it fits my business model, which is perfect. And it's, like-minded business people trying to help each other grow their businesses. So, I've found both of those styles of referral groups really beneficial, the association of realtors, and then I would call it maybe the more traditional networking groups like a BNI, things like that.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Every time I hear you talk about joining these groups as a real estate coach, when they have a lender, it makes me chuckle. It makes me chuckle at that massive win that you have with that. That's awesome.
That's hilarious. So for me, I actually am part of our local BNI group here. So, I'm not a real estate coach. I'm in as the lender, but it's equally good. Obviously,
better watch out. Sean might join your.
I'm not going to tell him which one just because of that. But I think it's important, right? For me, I think for both of you guys as well. What these groups do, especially the ones where it's BNI like, it gives you the opportunity to have that Rolodex. Right. So if somebody does have an issue with, their roof, their plumbing, need an electrician, things like that. Oh, well, hey, you don't even need to Google. I got a guy. Right. And I think that's the whole point of being a part of these groups, to be able to, yes, you want to go ahead and receive business, but something is what you make of it. If you're able to go ahead and help these people out, you want to make sure that obviously you vet and have one-to-ones with these carpenters, electricians, roof guys, etc., to make sure that they're obviously good at what they do. But once you are able to go ahead and vet that out and make sure that they are, to have that Rolodex of people at your disposal is only going to help you build trust with the people that are in your network, and obviously by you being a part of this group, expand your network as well.
Candido, I'm going to interject real quick and say, dude, what you just said is absolute money. So loan officers, real estate agents, if you're watching this, Candido, like the genius that he is, right? If they're, I know, we could just rare compliment.
Drop the mic.
If they're calling you, Candido, for everything else, then why wouldn't they call you when they need a mortgage, when they need loan advice, when they want to buy that investment property? They're already in the habit of calling you for everything. It's like, oh, I'll just call Candido. Like, that is the beauty of that network that you've built with that BNI group. So anyways, go on. That was awesome. I loved it.
No, and you know, that's the thing, right? I don't market myself as a mortgage guy, even though it says Candid Mortgage Guy. I try to market myself being a part of, being a part of the community. I try to market myself as, oh, if you have a question about real estate, call me. Anything about the home, you have a question, call me. So that way, then I have referrals that I can go ahead and send out. Obviously, as these groups go, you get what you put into it. So if you're putting crap into it, guess what? You can expect crap back. But if you are going ahead and doing the work, being able to pass out referrals, pass out leads, then guess what? You're more likely to get that stuff back. So these are, yes. So these are the types of relationships that you want to be able to build. Another group that I'm a part of, the board of directors for our local NAREP chapter, the National Association of Hispanic Real Estate Professionals. And, with that, it's just real estate professionals. So it helps me, obviously, be introduced to some of the local, some more local realtors, which obviously is a big help. So,
Did we just lose Candido? All right, Candido out. All good. Well, I think what Candido is really getting at, and what he's been phenomenal at doing. Oh, Candido, you back, buddy? Oh, he's on a lag. He's on a lag.
We'll let him catch up a little bit.
Candido is phenomenal at networking, though. He's part of several different groups. Obviously, the BNI, the NAREP that he's been talking about, and he's been, especially through NAREP, he's been heavily involved with that aspect of the business. And he's made trips to Washington D.C. On behalf of NAREP. And Candido, hey, chime in when you're officially back and up to speed. But he has been leveraging the groups that he's a part of to make a difference in the community, not just the community, like his local community, but in our industry as a whole. And so that's one thing that maybe we don't always do enough of is utilize the network, the people that we know, the knowledge that we possess to really make a difference. And Candido, I will say, has always done a phenomenal job of that. So kudos to you, Candido, man.
I appreciate it. I was just going to stay on mute and let you keep on talking good things about me because, frankly,
it's a weird day. I'm just complimenting you.
I'll take it. But one thing I will say is that this time last year, I think we were just getting back from a conference that we all attended. And I think I truly had to take a step back and realize, you know what? I think I'm just trying to sit here and waiting for the business to come to me. And, once I flipped that switch and said, you know what, this year I'm going to get myself back out there, right? Because while what I'm doing might not help me with business today, it will tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. So, especially with this business, you can't just sit on your ass and wait for business to come to you. You get what you put into these groups. And, I'm trying like crazy to go ahead and give as much as I can, because at some point, I believe that it's going to reciprocate.
Hey,
Yeah,
go ahead, Mark. I've got a really quick comment on that, but and I'll pass it over to you. So, actually, really good point, Candido. I actually had that thought today. So, in my networking group that I have on Tuesdays, on my way to the networking group, like, man, I'm not really getting a lot of ROI on this networking group. And then I immediately was like, well, wait a second. Am I really putting everything that I can be into this? We're supposed to be doing one-on-ones to really get to know each other better. And I haven't been doing a lot of those. And so today at the end of the meeting, I was like, hey, let's set up some one-on-ones. And I ended up setting 3 one-on-ones today because before I say, hey, this isn't doing anything for me, I have to look internally and be like, okay, what can I do to give everything to this before I just blame it on the networking group and not getting an ROI? So really good point that you made there at the end, Candido. So Mark, man, let me kick it over to you. Go ahead.
Man, hey, you honestly took the words right out of my mouth. You almost verbatim said exactly what I was going to say. So we're all on the same page here. But yeah, I mean, and I'll just piggyback off of what you're saying is, man, I think it's something that's just inflicted our industry as a whole. Real estate agents, insurance agents, LOs in general have just been waiting for business to come to them, right? And they haven't been doing anything. And a lot of people haven't been doing much at all, right? And guilty, present company included, where you sit there and, we got into the habit of that while back, when we were just getting handed business left and right. And I think we are very quick to judge activities we're doing or not doing and saying, no, that doesn't work, when we're not giving it at our all. If we give it 30% of our effort and it fails, whose fault is that? There's referral groups all over this country where people are getting a ton of business from it in all industries. The people that get a lot of business from it are the people that are doing those one-on-ones, one-to-one meetings, where they're getting to know the people in the group better. The people that aren't getting a lot out of those, bringing it back to the referral groups, the people that aren't getting a lot out of those are the people that show up once a week for an hour. They talk about themselves whenever they're allotted that time, and they put no other effort into it. And you see that in every single group. And then they say, this isn't for me, I'm out. Well, that's because you didn't try, right? The whole point of the group is to make everybody better and to lift everybody up. And if your focus is not squarely on that, then other people aren't going to really care to give you business either. And that goes for whatever you're doing in marketing. If you're not putting 100% into it, it's not the process or it's not the actual action that's failing, it's you.
We could have a whole show about that, Mark, right? Like, oh, if you're making 5 calls a week and you're like, oh man, this outbound calling thing's not working. Well, it's because you're not making 30 calls a day or 100 calls a week. Or, if you 10x your activities, you're going to make progress. And that includes with, networking and referral groups, right? If you 10x your involvement, if you 10x your, and obviously everyone knows that I've read the book 10X by Grant Cardone, right? Mm-hmm. But if you 10X your engagement, it's going to produce results. And then, and I believe then and only then can we look at it and say, okay, well, I've 10X'd my engagement, I've 10X'd my activities, I've 10X'd what I'm putting into it. Then you can say, okay, well, is this generating the ROI to justify the engagement, the money, the time, the energy that I'm spending on it? Or is there something else that I could put that same time, energy, money, and focus into to create a better return on my investment? So I think that's really how, in my opinion, how we can all look at any of the activities that we do, but especially a lot of these networking groups where I agree, Mark. I mean, I had mine today, and same thing. A lot of people, they, end of the meeting, gone, like done. They just walk out the moment we're dispersed. Poof, they're gone and they're off doing their thing. And I made a decision today that, okay, well, I'm not going to be that person, and I'm going to start engaging more, and it's going to result in more positive interactions. It's going to result in more business. 100%.
I agree.
Love that. All right, fellas.
Right on.
I think, like I said, look, you get what you put into these groups. It's you have to be involved in your local community, because guess what? So is your competitors, and you want to make sure that you're putting in a good enough effort to be able to at the end of the day try and obviously generate business, but get your name out there. And for me, I'll give you a good example. For the local Chamber of Commerce, I did worked a car show event this past weekend. I have never been to a car show. I had no idea what I was doing. I was helping direct these cars. It was a packed house. I was taking pictures, tagging it on my social. So there's a lot of different things that you could be doing, but just the point in the moral of the story: get involved with your local community, and by doing these local networking groups, I mean, it's just absolutely a no-brainer.
Guys, can I go off script a little bit? I'm really excited about next week. Can I go off script? Is that okay? You guys not going to boot me off the show?
Well, no promises.
Man, so first and foremost, I always want to say thank you for everyone tuning in. If you're watching us live, thank you so much for joining us. If you're watching the replay, I appreciate you hanging out with us, the Reload Boys here on the Reload Show. Next week, we're going to get down and nerdy with it, and we're going to be talking tech. We're going to be talking the top technology that we use in our businesses that makes an impact and how we're using it. So I'm excited to talk about that. I don't know. I may be the nerdiest dude here. Mark might give me a run for my money on that. Candido's too cool for school, so but he's still a nerd at heart. It's okay. We'll give him some love. But next week we are talking technology for our businesses. If you're a real estate agent, loan officer, this is for you. Make sure to tune in 11 a.m. Central, 12 o'clock Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Mountain Time. Like
Mountain Time,
yeah. It's all
I
good.
don't really know.
What is it? Greenwich Mean Time.
On the Reload Show. Candido, Mark, guys, always good seeing you.
I am now going to retire to my nerdery, and we will see you next week.
Peace out.
Peace.